Welcome to Talk Theory. It's your host, Kiara Barnes, where I talk all things life, what makes us human, and what makes us superhuman. Sit back, relax, and join me for a chat. Hello, welcome back. Glad to have you here for another episode of Talk Theory. Hey y'all, if you are listening for the first time, I'm Kiara Barnes. Nice to meet you. I'm the host, your host. Real quick before we get in, because I know I've been telling you guys and updating you on what's been going on with the strike, and I just want to keep you guys informed. So sadly, as of now, the negotiations have stopped with SAG and the studios, which is very disappointing and frustrating. But, you know, it's all very complicated. I'm just hoping, you know, in the coming weeks, they can sit down again at the table and hash this out. Guys, I really miss work so much. I'm having one of those days, and it's been really hard. I think especially because we're so close to like finally settling this. It's painful, you know, to keep cutting things early. Anyway, but I will keep you guys posted. In the meantime, just keep the good vibes going, energy wise, and love flowing, that we can get to a point of an agreement, get back to work, because I'm definitely ready. Speaking of stressful situations, we're talking about stress today. How to get through it, feel through it, how to balance yourself out when things feel a bit overwhelming. And I feel like me of all people will definitely benefit from today's episode. So let's get into that. First, let's kind of just demystify stress, shall we? What is it? What's it about? So I found this definition on Google, of course, and it defines stress as a state of worry or mental tension caused by a difficult situation. So essentially, for me, it's like taking a scenario or two and over-analyzing it, replaying it in your mind, getting bent out of shape about it, and just almost becoming obsessed with this thought or way of thought. Now, sorry guys, I got the little sniffles. How does this affect us physically and mentally? First off, stress can make you tired. It can make you angry, overwhelmed. It can definitely make you physically sick, you know, stomach aches, chest pains, back aches, headaches, tense shoulders. Did I say neck pain? People manifest their stress in many areas. For me, I usually hold all my tension in my shoulders and neck. So it's really important for me to do things during the week to ease that up so I don't cause more unwanted stress, even if it's like doing a few neck stretches before bed or doing some kind of yoga or something like that. And I also say a lot of folks aren't even aware that they even hold stress in their body. You know, you could be carrying a ton of stress and not even realize it. I mean, I have carried stress where I've been like, I'm fine, I'm totally fine, I'm fine. And it's gotten to the point where, like, straight up my eyesight was terrible for this longest time. I was like, I think I need glasses. But I was just really stressed to the point where my brain was just tired. So that can definitely happen. I also think, which is a good segue into, you know, me not being like, oh, I'm good. I think when we're not talking out loud our stresses and being honest about what they are, that's when these things begin to manifest and take their own shape in our bodies. So you can, even as yourself, just start asking yourself, what's causing you the stress? And I know this sounds so simple, but just the ability to talk things out loud will help you release all of that a lot faster. So, you can be like, okay, is it work? Is it relationships? Is it personal life changes? Say it out loud, write it down in your journal, just get it out of your head. And I think for most people, the top things would be, I would think would be stress from work and relationships, even if those relationships are, familial, like family. Um, I just find that it's pretty normal that most people have something going on with those two specific things. But like I said, when you identify, you can just pinpoint that feeling, and you can see what it is that, okay, what can I do about it? Or how can I live even in conjunction with this? And just doing that is going to have you feeling less out of power, more sense of stability with the situation, and a whole lot less chaotic. So let's talk about some of the ways that can help us navigate and manage our stress. And so one I stated before, pinpointing, what is it and how does it make you feel? And when you do this, it's going to just feel like everything's less intense, and it doesn't feel as intimidating or confusing because you know where it's coming from. Because sometimes it can feel like all these things get compounded on top of one another, and it gets to be this one big, ugly situation. But in reality, it's this main one or two things that you've been avoiding. And I think that I would say that people avoid naturally because it feels like, well, if I say it out loud or I talk about it, it's only going to exasperate that and it's going to add more stress. But the opposite usually ends up happening, which is you feel this big amount of relief because you're finally not holding so much space in the mind and body for it. And another way is meditation. Y'all know I love my meditation. I'm even getting on myself with this because I know I could be meditating longer or at least more frequent throughout the day. And it's usually on the days or in the moments where I feel like, meditating is such a task today. I don't really have the time. Those are the times when I actually need it the most. And then even after meditation, allowing yourself to free write for however long and for about whatever's coming to your head, allowing the pen to flow. And I've found my best advice in these moments or words or are words that have given me so much peace. Like I will free write and be, oh, okay, like, oh, that was deep. That actually helped me unlock something. And I think that's really the ultimate goal, dealing with stress is to feel this an immense amount of peace, to feel like you're safe, to feel like all is well. And I think there's other things to do to help with stress, even on a physical sense. For me, like even going outside for a walk, being in nature. For other people, it might be going on a bike ride, going on a run, somewhere you can be where air is flowing. Even just a change of scenery. I think also being stuck inside looking at the same four walls or the same computer screen can be hard. It can actually feel like everything's closing in. So being sure to do something, even if it's to walk or to drive or to go get a coffee or a tea somewhere, that's going to help. Of course, if you have people around you that are supportive and helpful, speaking with them also is a great idea. And, I would love to say that therapy, oh yeah, go do therapy. But at the same time, Not everyone has the ability to have access to therapy and can afford that. So if you have people around you where you know you can just decompress and be yourself around, do that. And maybe even ask like, "Hey, I have something going on. Is it cool to just like let it out, you know?" And I feel that definitely helps. Also, even if you can have some kind of mindless tasks happening, for me, I love to clean. I love getting some good music on, get some cleaning products, and just focusing on that. You know, just a mindless task. Or even painting or drawing or knitting, reading, whatever it may be, to just give your brain time to rest, which also ends up being a way for your brain to naturally meditate on its own. Because when you take your brain out of survival mode and allow it to be left alone, you will end up finding so much relief just in doing that, in doing nothing. Even watching your favorite TV show or an old movie that you like, this is going to give you these opportunities to release. And that's what we're looking for. A few moments of release that will compound to an ultimate feeling of peace. And I feel another part of this too, I don't know if it's about you, if it's the same with you guys, but when I look good, I feel good. I know when I've made effort in my appearance in the sense of outfit or my hair or making sure to keep up on skincare, I know I always feel a lot better. And that also takes off this extra layer of stress, you know? Because for me, visual noise is a real thing. Visual noise stresses me out. If there's things not sorted in my room or cluttered, like I'm even looking now where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I need to clean my room. Um, because it just adds a layer of stress. And it feels so much better when you look around and surfaces are clean and things are put away in their designated spots. You know, it just gives you mental space. I also feel when I'm cooking more at home, you know, giving myself good food and flavorful meals, I'm in a better mood. Because who, one, doesn't love a delicious meal, but also it's really rewarding to cook for yourself and take care of yourself. So that's something. And, you know, look, these are just a few things that can help you get that much more space from feeling overwhelmed, you know, to a point where you can have an opportunity just to flip that perspective. And that's why I gave so many different options, because not every which way works for everyone. And I do want to mention that just because you are doing one or two things or feel good doing one of these things doesn't mean that all of your stresses will be cured and you'll never feel stress again. All right. Stress is an everyday thing and an experience, and it's something that all of us have to work at so that it won't get to a point where it's just completely unmanageable. But when you implement these things consistently, you'll already have these techniques kind of embedded in you and trained in you, where you'll go, oh, I know that I want to do this. Oh, I know that I'm not feeling good, so I'm going to go do this, or I'm going to go watch this. You'll just naturally reach out for those things, or I want to talk with someone. So the more that you do those and be consistent, it's going to help you sort and handle anything that comes your way just in the best way possible. And I know we talked about this earlier, but as you know, our mind and body are deeply connected. When we take care of our mind, we are also taking care of our body. It's all one continuous thing. So making sure to do what we can to promote ourselves and our own health, that's going to really benefit us, and it's going to be very important. For me, even recently, I decided to book a massage and have someone work through my tension. Every time I do this, by the way, I always walk out going, oh my gosh, I need to do that way more often. You know, these things that seem so simple end up having such a huge impact on us and our mental health. And so by taking care of ourselves, we're taking care of not only our present self, but our future. You know, it's really only us that we have to watch over ourselves and to make sure that we are truly being taken care of and are healthy. So it's important that we show up for ourselves and do what we can in many different areas. Personally, if I can be real with y'all, I think the biggest stress in my life right now is definitely coming from work or lack of it. This is because of this strike, this is the longest I've been from doing work and being on set. And it's very odd. It's very odd. It feels like COVID when we all had to do the lockdown, and just having to be sat somewhere and trying not to go crazy, and I've really had to coach myself because it's been uncomfortable and it adds these feelings of stress and worry that don't feel good. And I've had to coach myself through it and talk through my fears and feelings so that they don't harbor in my head. And I ultimately want to feel peace. So I have to find ways to do that. I choose to journal, meditate, watch films, funny movies, talk with friends and family. I read, I go on walks, I draw, I do all these things, and some things more than others. And honestly, truthfully, this episode is such a big reminder that I could definitely, be doing a little more for myself. And I'm slacking in certain areas. Because here's the thing, a lot of the things that we even get stressed out about are completely out of our control. Like the strike that's happening. It's got a lot of us actors out of work. We can't work unless an interim agreement or the studios and SAG come to a fair agreement for a fair contract, right? So me stressing out about the situation and worrying about the whole thing isn't going to change the fact that it's happening. Regardless how I feel, it's happening. So you might as well not get so intense about it because there's nothing you can do. And, I think it's been hard, don't get me wrong, but there's also, again, nothing I can do about the situation. The only thing that I can control is how I feel and how I respond. And as we've gone over, there's actually a lot of things that I can do that can help me through this. So to keep doing any of those things over and over again until whatever this stress passes is all that I really can do. And to remind myself that nothing lasts forever. Remembering that this is just for the moment and not forever. That all will be well. As the universe always finds a way of sorting itself out, it will all be taken care of in the end. We're such fixers as humans. We need to work on the letting go of things as well. It's part of the process. It's all necessary, and I think another part of the process is forgiving yourself. We need to forgive ourselves for being stressed and learning to accept the ups and downs of life. Like I said earlier, coming to terms with the fact that we don't get to control everything or know exactly how things will pan out. And that's okay. It's really okay. And it's okay that sometimes we get sad about it and cry about it, or we get angry about it, or we have like a meltdown, whatever. It's okay. We're humans. We're programmed to feel. But the more we embrace ourselves and our mistakes, we can learn to just flow into that peace more often. So when we do feel that tension, or we feel like, oh my gosh, I just need to cry, like just let it out. And it's not such a big deal. And let it be. I think moments of forgiveness can come also in words of affirmation. I really like to say, I really do. I like to say, all is well. Everything is working out for my highest good. Whenever I feel like a pestering thought or some kind of stress coming up, I just go, deep breath. all is well. Everything is working out for my highest good. And I'll repeat it to myself a few times in a day, depending on what's going on. And that just helps me feel like I've hit a refresh button on myself. It drops my shoulders, a sigh of relief, tension from my jaw, gone, whatever it may be. Because when I'm saying that all is well, everything is working out for my highest good, I am admitting to myself that I am not the only person in control. There is a larger aspect of life happening around me, and I am just a part of it. But to put all this pressure on myself that it's just me at the end of the day doing all of this work is like unnecessary. So unnecessary. And there's a lot more factors that happen in life, even on an energetic level, that is out of my control. And the only thing that I can do is just be kind to myself. And it's helpful to feed our brains things that are going to encourage us to feel better and happier and more uplifted. Because at the end of the day, folks, stress is inevitable. But when we have the right mindset and tools, it can be tamed and it can be a lot less scary. And, like the big bad wolf, it can really be something that isn't all consuming. Okay, folks. Let's get into the theory of the week, which is stress is a temporary cloud, but your resilience is the ever-shining sun. Let it light your way. How lovely. Stress is a temporary cloud, but your resilience is the ever-shining sun. Let it light your way. How lovely. Remember, life's challenges makes us stronger. I know that's for sure. Wiser and more resilient. Take it day by day, Take it day by day. That's all you can do. We got this. Thank you for joining for our little chit chat. Hopefully this gave you some things to try out after you've listened to this and make you feel some peace as well. If you want to listen to more episodes, be sure to subscribe or follow Talk Theory on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen. And you can scroll down. I think we've got like almost over 60 episodes at this point. That way you can stay up to date. All right. I shall see you next week. Okay. Love you. Bye.